Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Miss D. Say hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
So, what do we have going on today? Well, there actually is an update coming out today. We are mid-month, but the Rust Easter event goes live in 2 hours from now. And so we'll be running through. We're over here on the staging branch. We'll run through what's going on with the Easter event and what else is going on in Rust development. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to do at Misty underscore that's me in chat. And we'll get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. Also, real quick, what's going on with wipes today? Well, for Rustified servers, it is the Thursday weekly and bi weekly wipes that are happening at regular scheduled time for each region. And that is 3 p.m. local time for the region, which means EU wiped 2 hours ago. US, well, given we're in the middle of daylight savings time stuff happening, it happened in the US last week. It doesn't happen across the pond for another week or so. So US servers wipe in 2 hours at 3 p.m. EST. Once again, these are the weekly and bi weekly wipe servers. So those are your mains, your mediums, your trios, your solos, your Zen labs, and the like. So, what do we got going on with this Easter event? If you have been around for previous Easter events, then a lot of this will be familiar. It's the good old egg hunts and all that stuff. But we do have a very cool new costume going on for this Easter event. It is live on the item store right now, and it's a blow up, like inflatable chicken costume, which is pretty cool, pretty funky as far as costumes in Rust go. I think they did a great job on this one. There's a couple variants of it. There's so far we've counted three different variations of it, and the variant is just whatever you randomly get. So you buy on the item store the chicken costume, and then when you craft it, it will just be one of the various three variations that you can have. So yeah, go get it on the item store. It's $9.99 US. I'm not sure what it is internationally, but it is a cool limited time offer to get this blow up chicken costume going on here. Now, also, as with the Easter events have been for, I'm trying to think, it had to be like 6 years running at least that this Easter event has been happening. And it's pretty much, as I mentioned, the same as what we've seen in the past. So, one of the big markings of this Easter event is every 24 to 38 in game hours, you'll get an egg hunt that happens. And it'll pop up a thing on the screen saying, hey, an egg hunt is about to start. And then you have 3 minutes for every player in the server to collect as many eggs as they can. The top egg collectors do get a special reward. So, first place gets 3 silver eggs, second place gets 1 silver egg, and third place gets 1 bronze egg. Now, these eggs are collectible eggs, bronze, silver, and gold. And like we see with some of the other events, especially the other holiday events in Rust, these are upgradable and openable. So, similar to the Xmas presents or the Halloween candy bags, basically, each egg can be stacked, it can be opened, or it can be upgraded if we're talking bronze or silver. So the bronze eggs can stack to 10. If you open the bronze egg, you can get an egg basket, you can get bunny ears, you can get some stones, some wood, some metal frags, chocolate bars, or a compound bow. Or you can stack 10 bronze eggs together and actually upgrade it to a silver egg. And there you get some slightly better loot. You get a bunny onesie. You can get up to 250, 2,500, I should say, stone. You can get a chainsaw with some fuel, a jackhammer, a revolver, a double barrel, or even a pump shotgun. Or you can take 10 silver eggs, stack them up, and upgrade them to a gold egg. Now, a gold egg is going to get you, if you open it, incendiary and high velocity rockets, or an MP5 and some ammo, potentially an LR, an M39, multiple grenade launcher, or even an M249 and some ammo if you're lucky. So the gold eggs are basically going to get you the best stuff as you would imagine. You can't upgrade past gold because, hey, there's nothing better than gold. But basically, as you go around during the egg hunt, you pick up these painted eggs, and then those can be upgraded to the bronze, upgraded to the silver, upgraded to the gold. So it's basically 1,000 painted eggs to get to a gold egg and be able to open that up and see what you get. Now, there's also, as you might notice in some of the sample loot for the eggs, there's things like the egg basket and bunny ears and bunny onesie. Now, all these things come with a little egg vision of sorts, which does help you in the egg hunt. So if you have a egg basket, you'll be able to pick up the eggs during an egg hunt immediately, as opposed to there's like a 2-3 second pickup time if you are basketless. But you can go up and immediately pick up the eggs if you want. So that'll really help you get more eggs than other people if you bust your basket out and have that equipped as you're going around and doing the egg hunt. Now, also, there's the egg vision things. So, the bunny onesie and also this new chicken costume comes with some egg vision. And that basically allows you to see the eggs from farther out during an egg hunt, such that you know where to go and you can find them easier. When the egg hunt happens, it just spawns these eggs all around all the players, all around the map. So everyone kind of has an equal chance from the get go, but the better egg vision you have, and if you have a basket equipped, then you're going to be better off at being one of the top egg collectors. And once again, if you are, first place gets 3 silver eggs, second place, 1 silver egg, and third place gets 1 bronze egg. And of course, you do collect the painted eggs as you go around, regardless, and those can be upgraded to the bronze egg and beyond. So those are the egg helpers, and kind of that's the core of the Easter event, really, when it comes down to it. There's also some special items on the item store beyond the chicken costume. There's the egg suit from previous years, which you can draw on, and there's a couple other community made Easter related skins available for a limited time on the item store. Now, also, there's a bunch of other stuff going on in development, and it looks like we've got some interesting things taking place on Aux 2. And it looks like word on the street is we might potentially see some of these monument changes make it in for the April update. Now, this I wasn't necessarily expecting because very often these monument updates and or creating a new monument, they're all bespoke, they're all handmade, and so it can take a long time for something to be ready to roll out. But nevertheless, it does look like we might potentially be seeing the updated harbor and oil rig going live 2 weeks from now when this April 4th update and Force Wipe comes out. So we're not on the Aux 2 branch. We wanted to show off the Easter stuff today, but we plan on being on Aux 2 next week to kind of show this off. But in the meantime, you can see some pictures on the website on rustafied.com. And we do have a little bit of information. They are very much still a work in progress, and so nothing's really finalized, and everything is subject to change. And there's still on like the harbor specifically some gray box stuff or some red box stuff floating around, and it's definitely not production ready yet. But we can nevertheless see roughly what we're going to be working with these monument updates. First, over on the harbor, they've kind of bifurcated the harbor uh, and made it so that the cargo ship can kind of dock in the middle of it. And that is the plan for the cargo ship to dock right there in this new kind of section of the harbor. They've really reworked the harbor in a big way where there's a lot more hiding places, there's a lot more to get into, so to speak, and to get around. And then the very interesting thing is with this cargo ship, apparently what it's going to do is spawn, circle the map, dock at the harbor for a period of time. But then on top of that, there at the harbor is going to be apparently these cargo cranes, which will take those cargo containers and kind of move them onto the cargo ship. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be player operated or if it's going to be just automatically done when the cargo ship is docked at the harbor. But apparently, what you can do is get into some of these cargo containers before they're on the cargo ship, hide or stow away, as it may be, in the container, and then wait for the cargo ship to be floating out. And then you can hop out of the container, loot the cargo ship, and maybe counter anyone else who might be on the cargo ship. So, this isn't only a change to the harbor monument, but it's a fundamental shift to the cargo ship event as a whole. So it's very interesting to see. And on top of that, we've got the updates to Oil Rig also apparently coming in as they are on the aux 2 branch. Now, that is a little less in depth than the harbor change and the cargo ship stuff. At the oil rig, basically, what we're going to be seeing is the addition of moon pools underneath and this kind of tube that goes up from the moon pool. So it's basically going to be a new point of ingress for people to utilize submarines or diving equipment to get to the oil rig monuments without necessarily being seen on boat. And so that's going to be a cool new way to tackle the oil rigs and loot them and potentially get in without people seeing you. And just a new point of ingress, which is pretty cool. Now, as I mentioned, both these things are on the aux 2 branch now. Word on the street is they are shooting to get these out for the next update, which is 2 weeks from today, I'm saying April 4th, and I'm right. Okay, cool. I had to double check my calendar because I'm like, I think it's April 4th. Yeah, it's April 4th. So 2 weeks from today, it looks like we might potentially be seeing these monument reworks come in the form of at least the updated harbor and cargo ship event and the updated oil rigs as well. So the plan is, as they're a work in progress, and we weren't able to get the cargo ship to successfully dock at the harbor on aux 2 on our server. So we figured we'll wait till next week and then show that stuff off on the update preview stream next week, give you a full lowdown of what the new harbor layout is, how the cargo ship docks, how these cranes work, and everything like that, and potentially how you could stow away on one of those little cargo crates. So we'll have more on that next week, but word is that for 2 weeks from now, these will be coming in the update. So we look forward to that. Now, there's also a bunch of other stuff being worked on. Some of it may make it in for the April update, others may not. There is more work on that new tool cupboard skin. So apparently, there's this new skin for the tool cupboard that's going to have a visual display on the front, kind of like a vending machine, where it will be able to show, I guess, the upkeep values and stuff like that visually via screen on front of the tool cupboard. There's also more work on electricity improvements. This is something we covered last week, and we've seen a continuation of it. But if you missed it, long and short is there's a ton of improvements to electricity. Specifically, what they're doing is making it so that a bunch of these smaller things like splitters and all that stuff don't drain electricity anymore. So it's drastically reduced the electrical requirements, especially for more complicated electrical systems, because these little items don't drain any electricity anymore. They just, send it right through. On top of that, with some of the electricity improvements, they've fixed some phantom drain issues that were happening. So the whole net result of it is it's going to require a lot less power to do more complex electrical work and everything like that. And it's just going to be a lot easier and make a lot more sense when it comes to doing electronics and things. Now, on top of that, if you missed it last week, there is also the IO snapping ability that is likely coming in with the electrical improvements in 2 weeks. And what that is if you hold left shift as you're placing one of these either industrial or electrical components on a wall, what it will do is automatically snap and line up with components near it. And that's a really nice thing if you're anal retentive about placing things or whatever. It just will make it a lot easier to line things up and make things look nice and neat. And the best part is it's optional because if you don't hold left shift while you're placing these things, you can place them all willy nilly wherever you like. But then if you want to, you can hold left shift and it'll easily snap up and down or horizontal related to any components that are near it. And it looks like it even has a little grid thing. So if you're working with two things that aren't lined up, like height wise or horizontally, then it'll like find the grid with them, if that makes sense, and have the third item like kind of line up in between the two. So cool, nice quality of life stuff coming in for the electrical work and also impacting some of the industrial equipment as well when it comes to the IO snapping. On top of that, we've got some more work on the Bradley and specifically the scientist NPCs that are going to be roaming with Bradley, not only at the launch site, but also towards the end of wipe events where Bradley spawn around the map. It looks like there's going to be several NPCs roaming with Bradley as well. So that'll be a bit of a Bradley buff coming, and it'll just make it a little more complicated to take the Bradley out wherever you may be finding him and looking to take him out. No word on if that's going to be coming in for the update next week. It does look like there's a good velocity of commits on it, and I think it is very possible that we could see it for the April 4th update, but nothing confirmed yet. So we'll keep you posted. As always, we have all this stuff on rustified.com. I do a weekly article there every Thursday, first thing Eastern Time, midnight. It goes live and summarizes all this stuff in text and pictures. So we'll keep you up to date there. And also over on Twitter or X or whatever, we'll do shorts and things like that when new things hit the staging branch. But we'll keep you posted on the Bradley and the roaming scientist. They're also doing some things with regards to the server list, and it looks like they're doing some ping estimate stuff, which is cool, I think. If you're not familiar, well, everyone's probably seen it. You look at the official list and some of these servers, even if they're like an EU server and you're in the US, it shows that they have like a 3 ping, right? And now this is part of this A2S caching, and we have it on a lot of our servers because it's a recommended thing from the host. It's one of their features, I guess. And it helps apparently with DDoS and connection. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't give you a real accurate reading of what the ping in the server actually is, because it might appear as 3 on the server list, but you might actually have a 200 ping and you're not going to get a good connection there. And of course, as you're connecting, there is that red notice that will pop up and say, hey, it looks like there's a difference between the listed ping on the server list and the actual ping that you have to the server. But they're building upon that, it looks like, and on the server list, maybe doing a more estimate ping based on the actual region that the server's in, something like that. And I think that's all good stuff because it is weird to have the pings be like 3 when it's actually could be 200, 300, you know? So no word on when that's coming in, but we are seeing some work on that. There's also some more work on the upcoming vehicles to the game. Specifically, motorbikes is very much in progress. And then there's also that truck, that army truck that we saw, I want to say like last month or the month before it started being worked on. We didn't see anything on it for a week or so, but then this week we're seeing a little bit more progress on it. And what that is, it looks like it's going to be more of a large player operatable military transport vehicle of sorts. So think maybe, scrap heli, but for the ground. And it's a, what is it, 3 axle, military transport type of vehicle. And on top of that, we're seeing more work, as I mentioned, on the motorbikes. And that looks like it's just going to be a motorcycle. Maybe there will eventually be a motorcycle with a sidecar as well. I don't know if there's going to be 2 people on a motorcycle, just on a plain motorcycle, and then maybe a third in a sidecar, or if it's just going to be one person can mount on a motorcycle at once. But regardless, these are going to be upcoming new player operated vehicles that will make their way in eventually. I don't have a strong sense that the motorbikes or that new military transport vehicle are going to make it in for the April 4th update, but I could be wrong. We'll see. And there is still 2 weeks, so a lot can happen in 2 weeks. And then finally, there's more work on the upcoming minigun as well. And this is something that I believe it was first started on years ago and then went into kind of concept limbo. And we haven't seen much on it until the last month or so when we've seen more stuff be worked on with regards to this minigun. And that carries through into this week. We saw Helk doing some commits and things like that. So I think that minigun is definitely forthcoming. It's definitely going to be coming, if not April, then maybe the month or so after. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. And that about does it as far as what's going on in Rust development for this week. Once again, the Easter update is expected to go live at, it's going to actually be 3 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. GMT because the daylight saving stuff is kind of weird and a little wonky for this week or two. Well, the US did it and EU hasn't done it. But anyway, Easter stuff will be going live in what is that? Just over an hour and a half. And yeah, what do we got going on as far as questions are concerned, Misty?
Not a whole lot, just a few, but maybe we get more as we go. Mm, Sorry, I didn't hear the price. Do you want what the price is for the chicken?
The price for the chicken costume is in US dollars, it's $9.99. Now, the prices of the item store do change depending on your currency and where you are in the world. So I'm not sure if it's 9.99 euros as well or anything like that. I can just see the US prices because I'm here in the good old US of A, but it was 9.99 USD over on the item store. And that is available for purchase now if you want to go get it. And once again, the chicken costume is one purchase, but there's three variations of the chicken costume that randomly come about when you craft it.
For the Easter event, is there a server update coming out for it?
Yes, the Easter event does have a server and client update. So any server will have to update. It's interesting, the update's coming out right as our US servers are wiping, 3 p.m. Eastern. So ideally, the server update will sometimes come out 10, 15 minutes before the client update, and the client update tends to be more around the turn of the hour. So hopefully it just works out with the US wipes and everything like that. But this update is expected in just over an hour and a half. And to connect to any servers after the Easter update, you will need to update your client as well.
So if it's coming out 20 minutes before, does that mean you have to restart the server 2 times, or are you waiting?
Um, We'll see. We're gonna have to restart any server will need to be updated when the update comes out. So like EU and AU and SEA servers that are up and running already will need to be restarted as well to run the update, but they're not going to wipe again or anything like that if they've already wiped today.
And this was about the electricity. Does the component snapping force the components to be vertical if placed at an angle?
Um, I'm not sure. Basically, they're snapping either horizontally or vertically based on the other items. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but maybe Artemis, you can go back and kind of display it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point is that yeah, it basically makes like a grid. So if it has something to reference, then it will literally. If you hold left, like this is me just free placing, and then if I grab another one, if but
Yeah, but it's not doing it
what?
on an angle,
Yeah, if you're
though.
talking
Yeah.
about an actual rotational angle, I don't think you can rotate the items that way. Anyway, that would only be deployables, and it doesn't apply to those. Only the stuff on the walls.
And I just poked over at the comments, which or the chat, which I normally don't do, and I probably shouldn't. But someone's complaining about their question never getting answered, and we do our best to answer any questions that come up. So I'm very curious what their question is. But if it's also a question like why do your servers suck, then it's like, yeah, no, that's probably a good reason that I haven't answered it because you're being a troll. But I don't know. I'm curious what your question is, D joke, and I'd be happy to entertain an answer for you.
Um, what's What about the new outpost?
The new outpost is still being worked on. The new compound redesign is still in progress. They're doing a ground up rebuild of that. So that's probably going to take a couple more months. But basically, with that, it looks like they're going to have a new city hall building and some other buildings that I believe will be enterable. There's going to be new helipad and a bunch of different elevated walkways from the commits, but no visuals on those yet. I think a lot of it is still potentially in the gray box stage and might not be looking too great, so the devs aren't really showing anything off. But that is still in progress, and word on the street is it is going to be a complete overhaul of that compound monument. So excited to see that, but I think it might take another couple months.
I also do want to remind people if they not get their question answered, is because maybe you don't do @MISD, and then I don't see them with like hundreds of people typing in chat. So do @MISD
Yeah.
underscore, that's me, so I see them better.
Yeah, good call.
Do we know if more bans have been given out since some changes has been made?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question? I got distracted and didn't hear it.
Yeah, if any more bans have been given out since some changes has been made?
Bans like hacker
Yeah,
bans?
yeah, I guess from EAC, since they're changing some stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, EAC is apparently changing some stuff, and the hacker situation is something that Facepunch is apparently talking about on the daily, and they're, very much working on it, which I'm happy to hear. I will say, as a server owner, you know, I ain't seen EAC do their fucking job well yet. I look forward to a time where maybe they do, but I've yet to see it. Some ban waves here or there are great, but if it takes days or weeks or months for the hacker to actually get banned by EAC, well, that ain't too good of a job in my book. So we're still doing the best we can on handling reports, and we have our internal anti-cheat system and a third-party one that we're working with as well. And we're doing everything we can to tweak that up. And we do ban a ton of hackers every day, and then they have new accounts and they come back and we ban them again. And that's kind of the name of the game at the moment. I do really look forward to Facepunch and EAC being more proactive about this. As I said, they are working on it apparently, but as just on a ground level as a server owner, it's still a shit situation, and EAC isn't anywhere close to where they need to be to have this game be anywhere remotely hacker free. But nevertheless, we strive on and we go through reports, and uh, a, we have some new moderators coming on, and we're tweaking our automated systems and everything and doing really our best to catch hackers before they cause too much of a disruption. And so, to anyone who does give reports from our servers, I really do appreciate it. That really does help us a lot. And we do have a relatively new report system. So you can report in game with /report. You can report in Discord with the same command. Or what I really recommend is going to our new website, my.rustafied.com. And on there, what you can do after you log in with Steam is actually see a list of people on the server. You can select multiple ones and report them, and you can provide more evidence. And it's just a more easy interface than doing it necessarily in game with like a /report and a Steam ID. But yeah, a huge thank you to everyone who gives reports, and we really do our best to rid the servers of hackers. And it's a 24/7 job. And hopefully EAC does get their shit together sooner or later. But you'll notice, like, I'm not even mincing my words with the AC anymore. I used to like try to give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh well, hopefully they're trying or whatever. But no, it's been 10 years and they still fucking suck. So I'm just gonna, until they stop sucking, I'm gonna keep just calling a spade a fucking spade. And EAC needs to do their goddamn fucking job, or we should find someone else who does a better job. Wasn't that fun with Apex this week too, where I thought maybe there was the exploit with all EAC? Man, that would have really been a clusterfuck. But thankfully, it was just Apex, and apparently EAC, wasn't exploited with what is it, RCE or whatever that was. But nevertheless, I'm not a fan of EAC, and I won't be until they do their fucking job. And I do look forward to a day where that happens, but my confidence is low and my patience is worn out, if you gather.
So, when will high quality built skin come in?
I don't know. Not sure. I haven't seen much work on building skins recently. It seems like that was really a thing they dug into last year a lot, and then and we thought for a moment the Brutalist skin was going to be a more high tier skin, but then it and I think rightfully so was downgraded to a stone skin. But I haven't seen much work on the building skin DLCs, any new ones this year. I think their focus is elsewhere, if I'm being honest.
Can you explain how to properly report a player in your server with the command slash report?
Yeah, so slash report, it's a little complicated because you have to get their Steam ID 64. And if you don't know how to look that up by finding their Steam profile and then going to like steamid.uk and pasting their profile in and then getting the Steam ID 64, it can be kind of a pain in the ass. And so people figure it out and stuff, but honestly, that's why I don't recommend necessarily reporting in game. And it's why we spent the effort and time to build out my.rustafied.com. And we actually have a bunch more upgrades to that site. It's a little janky at the moment, but we have more upgrades to that. We're going to get our map voting on there. We're going to improve the reporting functionality. We're working with the team to do that now. But nevertheless, it is my recommended place to go to report a player in our servers, my.rustified.com. You just log in with Steam, you can create a report, and then you select the server you're on and it lists out everybody by name and avatar in the server, so you don't have to like look up the Steam ID. Because yeah, reporting in game or in Discord, you need to have that Steam ID 64, and that requires a little sleuthing that not everyone is up to.
Is all the servers wiping after the update today or just the Thursday servers?
It is the Thursday weekly and bi-weekly servers wiping for Rustafied. Every organization and community has their own wipe schedule and everything like that. But here at Rustafied, the servers wipe at 3 p.m. local time for the region on the day that they wipe. And because we're mid-month, it is the weekly and bi-weekly Thursday wipe servers. So that's going to be your mains, mediums, trios, solos, Zen Labs, smalls, things like that. And all of the regions have wiped already except US, and US will wipe in just about an hour and a half at 3 p.m. Eastern. EU wiped 2.5 hours ago. SEA and AU wiped like 12, 13 hours ago because they live in the future.
I think it's time for a recap. We have no more questions unless we get some while you do the recap.
Yeah. Did we get that D Jokes guy question? Did he even?
Yeah, that's the one you just answered,
Oh,
actually.
cool. Okay. So I
Yeah,
hope he's
I
happy now.
yeah, and I just reminded him you maybe just add my name so it's so he sees, so I see it
Yeah,
better.
that
Like
helps. That
there's a lot of
helps.
people typing, so I can't see everything.
But cool, a little recapity cap here for you. It is Easter time, so the Easter update is coming out in about an hour and a half, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT is the expected update time. It is going to be a client and a server update, so if you're a server owner, you will want to run this update, and if you are a player, you'll want to do the same from your Steam library. But when it comes out, we're going to see the Easter event go live in game. If you've never been around for a Rust Easter, it's pretty cool. Every 24 to 38 hours in game, the Easter egg hunt happens. It's going to be a 3 minute thing. And during that time, you'll get a like 10-second countdown that it's starting, and then you want to grab your Easter basket if you have one and run around and collect as many painted eggs as you can. And in that 3 minutes, or once that 3 minutes is up, the top three winners, or the people who gathered the most eggs in the server, get a prize. First place prize is 3 silver eggs. Second place is 1 silver egg, and third place is 1 bronze egg. Now, these painted eggs you collect can be combined together to upgrade to a bronze egg. You can then have 10 bronze eggs to upgrade to a silver, 10 silvers to upgrade to a gold. And at any point, you can open bronze, silver, or gold eggs. You can see the sample loot in them over on Rustafied.com. Of course, the loot is improved as the quality of the egg goes up, but basically, it's 1,000 painted eggs collected stacked together to get a gold egg. And at a gold egg level, you can open it and get things like an M249 and some ammo. You can get a grenade launcher, M39, LR300, MP5, some rockets, things like that. So the good stuff is at the gold egg level. At the silver egg level, you get things like a bunny onesie, some 2500 stone, a chainsaw, a jackhammer, maybe a double barrel or a pump. And then the bronze egg is kind of the more meh loot where you get either an egg basket, bunny ears, a couple hundred stone or wood, some metal frags, or some chocolate bars, things like that. The thing about some of this special Easter stuff, the egg basket and bunny ears and things like that, is some of it has egg vision. So you can actually, during an egg hunt, see the eggs from farther away so you can find them easier. The real big winner here, if you're looking to win an egg hunt, is going to be that egg basket, which once again you can find in bronze eggs. But once you have it, it allows you to pick up the eggs immediately and put them in your basket, as opposed to if you don't have a basket, you kind of have to hold E, and it's a several second process to pick up each egg. So it'll really help you to have these egg helpers. And the newest egg helper of the bunch is live on the item store now. It is a chicken costume. And this blow up chicken costume is pretty cool. It looks great. There are three variations of it. You only have to buy one chicken costume, and then the variant you get is random based on when you craft it. But it is $9.99 USD on the item store. I'm not sure what it is internationally, but probably around that price point. And you can get it for a limited time on the item store. And then this also comes with some egg vision to allow you to see these Easter eggs, these painted eggs around during the egg hunt a little farther away. So that's some cool stuff going on with regards to the Easter event. Once again, that goes live at 3 p.m. Eastern today with a client and server update. And then on top of that, there's a bunch of other stuff being worked on the staging branch, and specifically over on Aux 2, which we're not on today, but we plan on broadcasting from next week. But over on Aux 2, we've got some more work on the monument rework stuff, specifically the harbor and the oil rigs. So over at harbor, we're going to have a new layout for the harbor. It's been split up, kind of bifurcated, if you will, which will allow for the cargo ship to dock at that harbor for a period of time. There's going to be some cranes at the harbor that will load some of these kind of shipping containers. And word on the street is players will be able to enter these shipping containers, maybe stow away on some of them, and then come out later when the cargo ship is patrolling around and maybe surprise some people that are already on the cargo ship. When we talk about oil rigs, what we've got going on is the moon pool, and that's the addition of, just like the underwater labs have, is this moon pool. So it's a new point of ingress under the water. You can take a submarine or dive in there and then go up this tube to get onto or into the oil rig in a new way than previously you could. And both these things, as I mentioned, are over on Aux 2. And word on the street is that they're going to be going live with the update 2 weeks from now on April 4th for the next Force Wipe and update. So we're going to keep you posted on that. Next week's article will be mainly around these updates. And are you still there?
Yeah,
Yep. No.
My whole mouse is lagging. Oh, yeah, Rush just crashed. Cool. You ever get where your mouse starts
we
lagging
don't need you
everywhere?
anyways,
Yeah, I don't
right?
need to be in there. I'll just go to sleep in that chicken costume on the roof. But
Good night,
yeah,
Max.
I love those moments where your whole computer stalls out and then it's like, are we going to save this? And then Rust just closes. But that's enough Rust for this computer for the day, I suppose. And I'm winding down anyway. So, but yeah, that's the monument rework stuff going on over on Aux 2. And once again, we'll be reporting on that more next week. And then in the realm of other stuff, there's a bunch of other stuff being worked on. The new tool cupboard skin, which apparently will have a screen on the front of it, which will show upkeep information. There's also more electricity improvements coming in. So the main takeaway from that is that a lot of these smaller electrical components are no longer sucking juice. So it's going to be a lot easier to power, especially more complex electrical things. And they've also cleared up a bunch of stuff with phantom drain of electricity on various items. So the electrical improvements are going to be really great for any electricians out there. There's also the IO snapping stuff that comes kind of in tandem with that. And that's where, as you're placing these electrical or industrial components, you'll be able to hold left shift and it'll align either horizontally or vertically with other components that are already mounted. There's more work on the Bradley roaming scientists. So there's going to be some scientist NPCs with Bradley apparently in the future, not only at the launch site, but also towards the end of Wipes, where the Bradleys are spawning and roaming around the map. There's work on some ping estimate stuff for the server listings on the in-game server browser. So that should be good for giving more accurate ping readings potentially. And there's more work on motorbikes and the other military transport truck, the three axle military transport thing that's being worked on. So at some point in the next couple months, we're going to have some new vehicles coming in, but I don't think either of those are going to be making it in for the April update 2 weeks from now. And then there's also more work on the minigun, and we've seen a bunch of work on that in the past several weeks. Um, to the extent that I think it is possible we might see that go live with the update 2 weeks from now, but not sure. It's still on a separate branch, so we'll have to keep you posted on that one as with all this stuff. But yeah, that does it for our little recapity cap there. Any final questions before we wind this puppy down?
Yes, we do. The chicken costume also has the same armor as wooden armor. Haven't heard that mentioned.
Oh yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And also, what's the crafting cost of that chicken costume? Because people might be wondering what that may be. Can we see that, or because we don't own the skin, we
Unfortunately,
can't see
yeah,
it?
I was going to say unfortunately not because
Yeah, and I'd imagine given the protection is in that realm, I'd imagine the crafting is probably roughly in the same realm. I could be wrong about
yeah,
that, but
imagination says tarps and wood maybe rope.
yeah. And someone saying 25 cloth, 100 wood, could be.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like too crazy. You're not gonna be breaking the bank to get your blow up chicken
Better not be,
costume
no.
going. At least once you buy it on the item store, and hopefully 9.99 isn't breaking the bank for you. But if it is, don't fucking buy it then. Buy some food. But yeah, that's what's going on with the chicken costume and the Easter stuff.
I might be late to ask, but does the chicken costume make picking up eggs harder? Or like, do you have to go sideways to reach eggs?
Do you
Um,
know what? In my opinion, a little because you have to obviously have the egg kind of in the center of your vision. So as you saw, it was kind of adjusting a little. I
The
wouldn't say it was
head
a
is too
big
fat.
hindrance, but yeah, the head's a little in the way.
yeah, the head does get in the way of a couple things when you're looking,
Yep.
but
Fathead chicken.
yeah,
Yeah.
and on the same token, though, it does give you a little more egg vision, so you can see the eggs from farther away, but you do have to watch out for that chicken head.
I take it that the chicken costume is only craftable during Easter.
No, once you buy it, you should be able to craft it forever, basically. That's how the other costumes work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it will probably only be available for purchase during the Easter event. So for the next 2 weeks, unless you want to try to get it in the secondhand market. But yeah, once you bought it, then you'll be able to craft it whenever.
Yeah, and the past years you can't buy the same costume because it changes every year, right?
Yeah. Now, sometimes they do release the costume for sale multiple years. Like we are seeing that drawable egg costume.
Oh yeah, that's true, true, true.
That's available again on the item store this year, but it's kind of a hit or miss. So if you want to ensure that you can get it, I'd go get it now. And it is, as far as the costumes are concerned, I'd say this is the funkiest and probably coolest one we've seen so far. So
Yeah. On the topic of reporting, can we also use the F7 player reporting system on the Rustafied servers?
You definitely can, and we do have some metrics that like we do have the ability to look at F7s, but we mainly triage our internal reports as a priority. So F7 more reports to the developers, which hey can be helpful, but for a faster response, my recommendation is to, when reporting someone on the Rustafied servers, go to my.rustafied.com, log in with Steam, and put your report in there. And if you're like really antsy, or especially if it's like a rage hacker or something like that, feel free to go into our Discord and put your report ID into the general conversation, and we can maybe expedite it in that fashion. Because sometimes if people are like, "Oh my God, this guy's running all crazy," I'll just say, "What's your report ID?" and then be able to look into it quickly. So that is my recommendation. But F7 is another way to report. It's just I'd say on Rustified servers less effective.
Any changes to building? I see you are all near an Adobe building.
No changes to building coming this month that we've seen. So no building changes that I know of.
Yeah, and I just saw one come in saying, will there be a server restart?
Yeah, when the update comes out, and that's going to be just over an hour from now, like an hour and 15 minutes is when it's expected, we will have to restart the servers to update. So, especially if you're talking about like our EU servers, which are full and the ones that wiped, a lot of them have a queue. Unfortunately, we will have to, take those down, and it's not going to be another wipe, but in order to update, we do have to restart the server. So there will be rolling restarts for all servers basically expected within around an hour from now.
All I want to know is, when am I going to be able to raise chicken on my pumpkin farm? Someone said.
Good question.
Yeah. So I think that's it, Bugs, for
All
now.
right, good stuff. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. And thank you to my co MCs, Misty and Artemis, as always, for joining me.
You're welcome, as always, Bugs.
Yep, always welcome. Happy Easter, guys.
And yeah,
Oh, yeah,
happy
happy
Easter,
Easter.
everybody. And yeah, just a huge thank you to everyone for tuning in. We're an independent organization. A lot of people think we're developers or we're on the Face Punch payroll or something like that. And neither of those is the case. We're just an independent organization who likes reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. And the only way that we can do that week after week, month after month, year after year is through the support of you. So, to everyone who tunes in and watches, people who give bits or subscribe on Twitch, and to our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers, thank you all so much for the support because we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So, with that, we're going to wind this puppy down. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter and a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. And we'll be back next week with some more previews of what's going on with the monument reworks, specifically the harbor and the oil rig. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. In the meantime, this is Bugs signing off.